Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit difficult for them throughout this entire season. I mean, you've got a stacked league to take on, but, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Midseason Mayhem Season 3 EU Grand Finals. Mocket eSports versus Resonant eSports. And let's get ourselves into this drop shot game. Probably the game mode that has been the least accurate indicator of who is going to go on to win the entire series because it is so far away from regular gameplay. But still, a win is a win nonetheless, and that's going to be early damage coming out. And possibly a gate. No, great save there from K-Dop. No gates opening up.
The big difference in situations like that, I understand what they're trying to do with that placement, but go for the guaranteed damage. We saw last time in the series, Resonant was able to start a comfortable lead, but then they ended up dropping in the last like 6 or 8 seconds to Gale Force. But as you see already, damage coming out from Resonant. I feel like it tries to respond.
I feel like it's a case of some teams just forget how much damage Phase 3 actually does. And they try and get it a bit too close, as that's going to eventually drop its way down. No, hits that lip. And we were talking about it earlier on. So disappointing whenever you see that. Because it's just damage. You got it down to the floor. It just wasn't the right part of it.
But unfortunate as you see this coming out. Trying to get Phase 3 as he pops it back up for his teammate. With soft little touches as these guys group up. And a bunch of whiffs is going to open up the gates as they get another shot. Resonant starting off strong yet again.
And Resonance have got barely any damage on their side. Very impressive for them to go up this early on with such little damage taken. And there was nothing you could do there. Great shot. Put that one straight downwards. An unusual shooting style to have to adapt to.
Very much so, as we see both Fairy Peak and Mets go for the kickoff. Going to work in the favor of Mock as he gets another touch. Tries to fake it so they can play it down on the same gate. Kind of a weird little ghost hit there. It's going to change it in favor. So Mets gets not only the damage, but also the serious damage of a demolition.
They're going to continue to add this stuff up. And because they are touching those tiles, those damaged tiles are going to be very useful later on. It's all about preparing yourself for future endeavors in the matchup. So that's not going to touch the floor. Very important to keep getting touches, even if it's not even the best one. Just do not have that be the opponent's color when it touches your floor. And that's going to be a version of that.
Oh, man.
Opens up exactly where they needed it as well. As Mocket eSports continue to trail, but doing a good job of bringing it back.
Mock just did a really good job of shadowing that as well. A soft touch that killed it to the floor, but Mystic read it perfectly. Able to respond back. Tons of damage now coming in favor of Mocket. Still down by 1, though.
And look at that. Just so much coming out on the side of Resonance, but they've done a great job of continuing to keep it away from their side, but they want to do more damage before any goal goes in against them. And that's going to be very useful. There is a gate and a large one that opened up on the Mocket side.
Fantastic play by Mets. Recognizing nobody nearby. Just takes the damage, changes it to Phase 3, and then slams that immediately down on the side. That guaranteed damage I'm talking about. As we go back into Phase 3, over again on the side of Mocket, as Rez controlling this field very well, placing it out yet again of the pace of Mystic.
And Resonance, they'll be very happy with this right now. Can turn this one in a lot. Just hits the side. But Mets and Iris, can they put this one 2-0 up? No, a lot. Ends up panning that one back into his own half. And Magnus has to deal with it. Both these teams with barely any areas left to look for on their own halves. But Mocket, they need something right now. They are starting to get outpaced and outclassed in this matchup.
It's exactly as you said. This team on Resonant just making sure every single touch before it hits the floor is on their side. But you saw it roll across the middle too. Something we haven't explained as Mystic gets a goal here is that if it's played like subtly without any bounces or like any like hard touches to it, it can roll across from one side to the other and still not like trigger the tiles per se for the damage. You have to either pinch it or something. But even a soft little cut where it only goes like a skip. I don't know how to
skip. No, skip's a good word for it.
I don't know how to explain the like height because we don't really have.
As long as it's got a little bit of height onto it, you can usually do damage.
Right.
But look at Mocket eSports half right now. At this point, accuracy is going to be key for them because they are probably not going to out-damage this Resonance side. They need to use that little area that they've now opened up and force the ball into an opened-up gate. Well, they've got to try and deal with this situation, and it's continued to open up. Mocket eSports have their backs against the walls and their feet dangling over the chasm as Resonance continues to try and push, but taken away by Mocket. But look at it, every single time, it's almost an entire half that they have got to aim for. Resonance will be smiling if they can get it in. But for the time being, they have to just keep gritting their teeth and pushing on, and even more gates opened up.
Well, this looks awfully familiar as that takes a weird bounce over the sides of Resonant. As these guys trying to open gates on the side of Mocket. We saw this very familiar when they played against Gale Force, as they were up by a ton, up by 1 goal, got a bunch of damage, but then accuracy plagued them as they weren't able to stick it in, but he's going to get the help of Mystic.
Yeah, finally just resulting in a goal. A hole that was big enough that even the Grand Canyon would be slightly jealous has eventually resulted in Resonant eSports going back into the lead.
Still plenty of time though, 25 seconds left. That damage still on the side of Resonant. They have the ability to get a good kickoff as it pinches, but easily responded by Magnus as it goes back to the side of Mocket.
And the 0-second rule on this map, very interesting to look at as we've seen throughout this day. Just the fact that, yes, to score, you have to get the ball to touch the floor. If you touch the wrong floor, however, the game is over. And Mocket eSports are going to have their one shot. Do they even have any gates to look for?
There's one in the very back right, I'm pretty sure.
So that is what they're going to be trying to get for in this. But Resonant can possibly score another one.
What?
And that has not finished off the game. I have no idea how it hasn't. But Resonant, they're going to put that one straight back over. Still not the game over. It's eventually touched the floor. Resonant eSports take the lead.
I'm more impressed on how they got that second chance for Mog as it like went around the rim of that gate and was like, it didn't count because even though like you're like when you hit, that counts for damage in drop shot. Like if I have a primed like a primed tile and I hit it, it still counts for damage if it hits the lip of it and it'll break away tiles. But when it comes to like the last seconds of the goal, it still counts as, that's super weird.
I don't know. Well, for hoops, if you hit the hoop when it's 0 seconds, does that finish the game?
It used to. I think it still does. I don't think it's changed yet because I know a lot of people.
I've got no possible explanation.
Yeah, a lot of people on Reddit were like, "It's just the rim. It doesn't count." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, which is correct. It's just the rim. It's not the floor.
Right.
But yeah, that was certainly an odd way of ending this matchup. But
that may be why. Because I'm curious about this now. Because technically, the floor is also the goal. So does it? I don't know.
Maybe it's got post physics. Maybe.
Help us, please.
Reddit, Twitch chat, anyone. Science for us, please. We require rocket-powered science.
Rumble now.
Rumble now. That is a very, very extreme version of rocket-powered science. Does Fist beat spikes? No. No, it doesn't. It just usually sends...
It delays it, I guess?
See, this is why we need more science around here. We need conclusive results as to what beats what in the world's greatest version of rock, paper, scissors.
Right. I mean, why would you ever want to use stupid hand signals when you can use a rocket-powered car with power-ups?
You know what, I'm not even going to ask you this, but what's the hand... We're off camera right now. What's the hand signal for plunger?
Nope.
Nope, you're not even going to do anything.
Not even gonna, nope.
I was going to call you out no matter what you did, so well done avoiding that one. But Mystic can't avoid the net at all with that shot.
No, 7 seconds getting a normie goal. Fairy Peak just beating out Mog in that 50-50. Once again, having that high ground. And then a good recorrection by Mystic as he boosts down into the floor to make sure he can pinch that into the net.
And that's a very good response there by Mocket eSports. After Resonant took the last game, pretty convincingly as well, just completely outpaced their opponents. It means we have to wait slightly longer for our first items to come up. So we're going to hit the floor. Here we go. We've got some up now. We can see K-Dop has got himself a plunger to work with. So don't be surprised if you see him taking that to the other end of the field. As K-Dop's actually, we see him now. He's gone towards the opposing net, but just was not in the correct position to turn it around. As Magnus, here's the tornado. Been pretty much my favorite, or at least there was a tornado. Apparently you can get rid of a tornado by hitting it really hard. Who knew?
Yeah, I mean, it worked out really well. It was actually interesting to see. Fairy Peak had that power up for quite a while before he activated it. He decided to bump and then demo someone on the Resonant team before actually using the power up.
Oh, Magnus.
There's that
vulnerability
coming into play a little bit.
That you spoke about earlier on. Eventually, Mocket end up giving up the ball. Metzenaris can get a hold of it. That tornado has played havoc with the ball. Honestly, tornado's been my favorite item today.
Yeah, there's been some really crazy plays. Although that dribble pass with that dribble shot with the spikes was nuts.
Rumble has been like great for top plays all day. The variety and the creativity we've seen from these pro players when it comes to Rumble, just insane. As we saw a plunger attempt, here's another one, gets demoed, and we finally found the counter to the plunger. Apparently the counter to everything is just to make people explode.
Yeah, why not just demo the guy if he's going to do something mean? But that's also mean. It's like mean cancels out mean. As K-Dop goes kamikaze.
So if we're both mean to each other, does that mean we're both being fine? It's completely neutral.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, well, K-Dop's going to try and be a bit mean on this one.
It was weird because it was like pivoted on the ball, so it was just like a teeter-totter going back and forth.
Magnus spikes onto him. Can he take this the entire way? No, he's got himself caught onto the floor. Mystic. Early challenge. K-Dop has to try and deal with this. That's the use. There's double magnets coming out. And it's been eventually cleared away. Resonant eSports need to find themselves a way back into this matchup, though. As Fairy Peak got swapped into the opponent's net. Not really too sure what good that did anyone, apart from getting rid of maybe an item that you didn't want. There's the tornado. Just makes everything awkward, really. It's the main skill of the tornado. Mystic spikes on him.
No boost, though.
Yeah, no boost. This is going to make it very difficult, but he's done very well with that.
Yeah, he actually made sure to take a touch with it and dribble it a little bit, which I think was probably the smartest thing he could have done. There was too many players approaching, and they respected his dribble rather than just being like, oh yeah, spikes, get him.
Fairy Peak hits that really hard and takes it away from the magnet, and a lot has to try and deal with that, but still, Mocket Esports not settling for that one goal. And you might as well not when it comes to this. Shot comes in all the way too far to the left, though. If you're Magnus, it was too far to his right. A demo comes in from Mystic. And here's K-Dop. He's got so many spikes, but that is a counter to it. Just switching out and taking the spikes away.
What I wish would happen with the play swapper is that if someone had spikes and you swap with them, you also got their power up. That would be sick. Like the Ghost in Super Mario or in Mario Kart.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I mean, just be glad we've got no blue shells in this. Actually, I don't think blue shell would be all that useful in a game of Rocket League.
Who do you determine is in first place?
Exactly. Just like, oh, you hit the person that's got the most score. Perfect. They might not actually be doing anything with the ball at all.
That'd still be really cool.
It would be. Ball played over into the corner. K-Dop should be the first one onto this. So we see multiple grappling hooks and plungers coming out. Still a 1-goal lead on this. A very low-scoring game of Rumble. But it's a match that could lead to this series being tied up. Magnus has got himself a hold of the magnet, but ends up getting plunged and punched away from him. As Resonant eSports have got only 50 seconds remaining for them to get a goal, and that's not going to be very useful to them. A disruptor coming out was going to require the grappling hook from Magnus. 40 seconds remaining here, and that is the type of item you really need, and that is the type of response you really need. Get out of here a lot. This is not your time to play, and that is the triple kill coming out.
Fantastic play. I thought those spikes, he was going to be home free, but for Mystic to intercept that in air and get a demo, unbelievable. 22 seconds, 21 seconds left as he gets frozen in front. Another shot from K-Dop saved out by Mets.
Resonant have got to now shake off all those demos and get themselves a goal right now. That could be the potential of it, although the grappling hook up against Spike. Spike still with the invulnerability. Over into the corner. Last chance here for Resonant eSports. Can they get this into an area they need? Who has got any items? Will we see any come out? No. Power Fist away, and Mocket eSports have tied this up.
Fantastic way to respond at the end there from Mocket. Every single solution brought out as we saw Resonant trying to get in with those spikes. Eventually a grapple came and shut it down. And then as it went down the end of the field, they tried to do anything to keep it alive. And that Power Glove, just nothing. Just pushed it even further away.
Sorry, you're seeing the confused look on my face. It's because I'm looking at the stats right now of Resonant. How do you play that much defense on a game of Rumble?
Mocket's really good.
Mocket's really good, apparently.
They had a lot of shots, man. One shot to Math 7, 9.
That was the most risky play we've seen this entire weekend.
I got it right, though.
Caster Math is always very scary.
Got it right. Check it.
Do you know what is also scary? Being a pro player, you know your physics, and then you see pinball coming out, which is going to be our next matchup. We've seen a lot of players whiff the ball on this. We've seen a lot of players that even when they do hit the ball, kind of just goes anywhere it feels like. But if you do hit the target, very likely that you've got the goal. Right.
We saw actually the grand finals of last time where Classics just went crazy with pinball shots. But that's something that I think actually really benefits Resonant. We've seen it already, like subtle touches coming out from Magnus and Mets. Both of them do a fantastic job of getting those subtle touches and then putting it on net. It's just a matter of, like we've said 1,000 times, any subtle mistake in your accuracy gets magnified by 1 billion.
Yeah, it really does. No time for soft touches in this game mode. You hit it, and it goes really fast.
And then you hit it again. We talked about rules number 1 and 2, hit the ball.
Yep.
And then rule number 3 was hit the ball towards the net. So hopefully they can do just that.
Lawler is available for coaching, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hire him for that. Metzenaris is going to put that one very far, and a lot's going to try and follow this one up, but there's the difficulties. You have to try and predict where that ball is going, and it is not easy to do so. Here's Very Peak, puts that one over into the middle. Mystic's going to miss that. It's going to be a come down to a case of maybe which team can slow the game down and just place where they want the ball. And actually, that's a great pass out there by a lot. How on earth did he manage to hit that so subtly?
A lot of these guys trying to do it with the underside of the car, as it is the softest spot. But something that these guys mechanically do a little bit better is that control in the air. When using boost, they're boosting across the area of where they're going to slow themselves down, but still that pinball going everywhere. As this Mach team flocks to try and make a save. Cleared out of the zone from Mystic. As you see him followed up as well, trying to do everything for this team.
Resonant eSports, probably the team I've seen so far this match that look more comfortable. Great passing play, but K-Dop is right in the position for it, and he's going to clear that one. K-Dop, he's been so solid for his team all season, and he continues to be so even during mid-season Mayhem.
You saw him get it past that last defender after the save, and then follow up with a subtle aerial. Fortunately for him, there was someone on defense to save it. But these guys starting to play a lot higher in the air. The longer clears, what a hit as that gets redirected all the way to the other side.
Could go the entire way onto this one, forcing the save once again out of K-Dop. That is going to be an early savior medal for him. Within 2 minutes, Magnus looks like he's struggling to deal with this ball. It's going to require a lot. Who gets that one to go all the way down to the other end of the field? That's going to be an awkward bounce for Mocket, but they have managed to deal with it. As Very Peak gets that one up high, and a two-way hit ends up putting that one down to the other end of the field. But Resonant have not got rid of this ball just yet.
Now, we talked about how like drop shot was so different from everything else. I think the only thing that carries over from drop shot into this this mutator is kind of going for like ground pinches. Obviously in drop shot you want to do it for like securing damage. But I feel like if you like hit it towards the ground and try to get like a subtle bounce to it, at least then it will go flying across the backboard every single time. Like hit it more in a downward area.
It's almost like the way these teams have been even taught to play at pro level kind of makes it like that's not how you want to play in this. You want to slow it down, you want to get everything completely right. But these teams are so used to get the rotation correctly, get it to that ball as fast as possible. It's kind of a case of that, just don't make a mistake, and you'll probably do fine.
Well, fantastic pass play to clear that downfield. Doesn't matter as a rocket of a shot gets saved by K-Dop, and then easily rebutted. These guys going back and forth, fighting. As Very Peak goes up top, hits it off that backboard, and yet another clear as a shot goes on net. Can he get it? Fantastic shot by Very Peak.
Very Peak gets it all the way across the map, and great shot there from him. That's exactly as we said. Just get it on target, you're very likely to score. We're seeing right now, these teams are a lot more defensive in these last 2 games. You can kind of understand that, really, when you've got $4,000 on the line.
As you stated, first game going in favor of Resonant, second game going in favor of Maka. We're now on game 3 in this grand final. Like you said, $4,000 on the line. Second place getting $2,500. Trying to secure this victory and put themselves on match point as a beautiful shot.
No!
And a team play for the wrong team.
Mocket eSports, very impressive, 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, as Lawler stated, that's the wrong way, boys.
I mean, everybody was involved. That's fantastic teamwork.
You know what? That was legitimate pinball right there. You know you've got those bits at the very top where it just bounces in between? Yeah. That was the most pinball we've ever seen out of pinball.
Yeah, you saw Resonant up at the top use the, the tilt button, and then he put it down, and then they were all tilted as they put it into their own net.
Ball played over into the corner. 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining. As K-Dop's going to try and leave that one. And a 50-50 win there for him would have been really good. Mystic overestimating how tall that ball is, and now Metzenaris can go the other end of the field. Resonant eSports have countered that original goal so quickly.
The most ground play I've seen from these shots, one after another, but Metz cuts in front. Able to clear that over the top. The last defender, Very, nothing he could do about that other than, I guess, not hit it towards his teammate, which sounds really weird.
So we've seen that goal from Very Peak, and we just saw that goal. Maybe, is this a game mode where you really should look towards, okay, always have someone in net?
I mean, why not? I mean, with how quickly the ball can go. That shot so close. But as you stated, like any touch, they're going to pinch it in and paying them back.
I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. Both teams now are pretty much effectively putting an own goal for their opponents. It's very big. Okay, that shot would have gone in anyway. So at least you get a little bit of leeway on that one. But the important thing, we are tied up and we've got a minute left in this match.
No, exactly as you stated. These guys are just trying to secure an easier way into that victory. But as you stated, yeah, I totally agree with putting someone on defense. It's just with how quick the ball gets shoot. What a shot from Mystic!
Well, we both did a little head bobbing motion as we tried to watch that one go in.
Right?
Probably Mystic with the most well-placed angled shot. This aerial's been so difficult all weekend, but hits the crossbar, hits the floor, hits the crossbar, hits the floor, and hit the crossbar, and then it went in.
Bobbing our head to some rap music over here as that goes up and down.
We both know neither of us have got any rhythm, okay?
I believe.
I don't, okay? I've seen us on the camera during the rehearsals. We cannot dance.
Dancing and rhythm have nothing. Okay, they kind of go in.
They definitely go together, my friends.
But you don't. You can have rhythm and still be a terrible dancer.
Yeah, fair enough, actually, on that one.
Nice.
Lola wins the argument against me, but who will win this matchup? Metzenaris wants to try and make sure it is Resonant. But that save there will put a dash into those plans. K-Dop, shot onto target. Final 18 seconds here. One goal separating these teams. Mockit eSports are about to put themselves onto match point unless that shot can go in. Hits the crossbar. Follow-up is going to come in here. K-Dop tries to clear that one away. Final opportunity now for Resonant eSports, but Mockit have cleared that one all the way down to the other end. That is going to touch the floor. Game point, championship point for Mockit eSports.
Unfortunately, though, for Mockit, they're leaving it up to the hands of Twitch chat.
Oh, no.
I have no idea what map we're going to.
We've already had one win each on this one, so we're guaranteed to see both of Twitch chat's points.
Yeah, really exciting stuff between both these guys. Unfortunately, though, for Resonant, all those shots did not matter. Tons of them going on the net. Mockit just making it count. Their accuracy much better that game.
Yep, and Wavepunk's going to be happy because our map, the map that you guys chose for our grand finals, is Wasteland Night.
Wow. How did they... It's like they're so coordinated but not, and it makes no sense, but it makes sense. It's weird. Good job, Twitch chat. You did it.
Well done. I'm looking forward to see what else we can see. Oh, wait, we're not going to see anything else from them because if we have a Game 5, all we're going to get
is more Rumble.
I'm always happy with a bit more Rumble. But yeah, so we are going to see Wasteland Night. It's going to be interesting to see because Wasteland's exactly how I imagine Texas to be.
Weird and shaped, curved like.
And kind of on fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hot there.
Is it hotter than here? Because LA is hot.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
It depends on where you are.
It's a large state, isn't it?
It goes pretty south, yeah.
I'm from England, mate. Everything is
cold
hotter.
back home, man. I'm happy to be here.
I mean, you've been to Amsterdam was pretty close to English weather.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It's not too bad, but over here it is really hot. Thankfully, the sun is down, so a bit of cool shade has brought us to Wasteland Night, our final fan-picked game. As Twitch chat, you have done your jobs, and you've done your jobs well this weekend. Now let's see if the players can respond.
Yeah, seeing if Mockit can settle on the most normal map we've seen all day in the aspect of their picks. Also, shout out to Psyonix Eric. He did the lighting for this map, and it looks fantastic.
It actually really is. It's difficult to make like a nighttime map and not have it really obvious where the lighting is coming from. I mean, you can get away with it on like Manfield and the rest of it because they should have floodlights. On this one, they just went, everything's on fire. And that's where the light's coming from. As K-Dop's going to try and drop that one down, hits the post. And there's going to be a second rebound from that one, but Magnus tries to clear that one away. Mockit refusing to head off, though. As eventually, Resonant eSports, well, they still haven't got rid of this one just yet. Magnus and a lot were both together. But still, Mockit eSports, this is unrelenting right now. As Resonant still unable to clear it. This might be finally their opportunity. A lot gets that one just over the top.
Well, the scary thing about Wasteland is those clears, if they're not like powerful and downfield, the ball just rolls back towards your net. Very dangerous. That clear coming in a fantastic time as everybody goes for the patented mind game. But despite that, Lock keeps the ball and throws away possession.
Mystic tries to get over to the side, but here's Metzenaris. putting that one straight into the middle. Here's K-Dop. Long launch from him, just going to give that one straight back over to Magnus. Here's the passing play, puts that one up high. Fairy Peak has taken, he has to get contact, otherwise rebounds were going to be aplenty coming towards him. But Resonant now want to give Mockit a taste of their own medicine, forcing them into that final third, refusing to go away. It's a backwards challenge there from Metzenaris, is not going to work out, but you see roughly, and you can see neither of these teams really making use of those walls, because they're a bit more curved, and you just don't trust them.
No, it's really weird when you try to dribble up the wall, because as soon as it hits a certain point, it's going to hit that ceiling and then pass back into the middle. It makes it a little bit more difficult to hit those, even though these guys should be able to.
Oh, that's going to be a long-range shot.
It's saved. Oh, not saved by K-Dop.
K-Dop tried his hardest to get there. Unfortunately, was not able to. Resonant eSports, they have not seen enough Rumble today. They want to get us into Game 5, and shots like that are certainly a great way of doing it.
Yeah, mistake from there from Mystic as he was trying to play that downfield. He hit it, and it hit the side of the wall, playing horizontally back into the midfield to a waiting Resonant. Able to secure that goal. We're almost halfway through the match of this grand final. Mockit can secure this victory. They're going to walk away with $4,000. It's
going to be put over to the side. Metzenaris trying his hardest, but Magnus should be able to put this one straight back in there. And this is probably the map most like any other that we do see. The only difference is the angles on the walls and the floor. So normal rotations will be pretty regular in this. I don't expect to see anything too different. So that is going to be played over to middle. Fairy Peak has got to take on a lot, and neither of them win it, which means Mystic is the winner, apparently.
Do you think if a team like wins this, like say Resonant wins this pretty convincingly, they'll bust it out in league play?
It depends on how comfortable they feel. I doubt a win on this is going to be enough to convince a team that they can win on it every single week. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
I wouldn't say it's like free practice, because, you know, it's a difference in like $1,500, but I mean,
it could be. It could be in the future, but one of these teams has to look comfortable. And honestly, right now, if any team is looking comfortable, it is Resonant, who are busting out these long-range plays consistently. Metzenaris puts that one up. He's going to try and follow it, gets a double tap. Magnus can try and follow, gets that, puts it in, and what an angle from Magnus!
No, exactly like you stated, Magnus with a beautiful touch. You see Metz trying to carry this in on his own, but it's read out by K-Dop. But the way that he flies and then uses the tip of his nose with that air roll, able to pinch it back inside and underneath the defender. Up by 2, 124 left, looking very comfortable of trying to get into Game 5.
So Mockit, the gauntlet has been laid down, my friends. It's probably been covered in sand as well, but still, if you could pick it up, that would be lovely. 2 goals in 1 minute and 10 seconds is the challenge. Magnus going to try and put this one over to the side. He's got a lot to try and finish that one up. He actually went for the demo. Here's a shot onto target. It's going to hit the post. There was no one in net there, so an on-target shot would have probably spelled the end of this matchup. 50 seconds remaining, and K-Dop, he's got an opportunity here. Goes for the passing play. He's found Mystic. Just too much to do there. Could not find the angle.
Yeah, unfortunate. K-Dop had it a little bit too much of power, but he's going to go trying to go for the fake and plays it directly at Matt's going for the demo, but gets the boost instead. As Resonant trying to hold on these last 35 seconds.
Yeah, that last play was so impressive. Unfortunately, it was completely read by the defender, as we see the attempt at a negative angle aerial. Puts that one straight down. Mystic, though, not enough power on that to defeat either of those defenders, who both look like they had it covered. Fairy Peak can follow this off the sidewall, and Magnus takes control of it a lot. Crucial touch from him. No one is back here. Magnus can try and turn it in. Mystic's managed to scramble himself, but this is just time wasting. 10 seconds left, and we are going to see one more game in all of this. We finish this where it should be finished. A game of Rumble. Resonant are going to tie this one up.
Fantastic clock management at the end here for Resonant. Able to secure these last couple goals and hold on to dear life as we go into match point. As you stated, Rumble on the clock. Maka took the first one, but can Resonant repeat what they did against Gale Force and close out the last 2 games?
Certainly is possible. That was an incredibly interesting and impressive set of games from them. The long shots coming out, making very good use of them. I've never really seen Resonant be all that incredible at controlling the middle ground, but they seem to bust it out just there. And as you said, maybe one of these teams want to pick it up in the future. Resonant you honestly have my seal of approval on that. That was not bad at all.
No, they got their goals, and then they played the rest out really comfortably. They were very passive in the decisions that they needed to make, but then they were like confident in what they were doing. They're like, all right, we've got 2 goals, we're up. Now let's sit back a little bit, let's play some defense, and then when we do get in trouble, just make sure we clear it and repeat. And it worked out great.
It's like they were fully aware of exactly what was coming towards them. They knew any ball is going to come straight down the middle. Neither of those teams were going to try and use the walls on that. I mean, everywhere around the wall is completely different angles that get more extreme as you get closer and closer to either the middle or the side of the goal. So they just played straight down the middle. They got the goals from long distance, and then they knew anything coming to us is coming straight in front of us. So we know what we're defending. No passing play is going to be too tough. Just get there, use the floor.
Well, it's a whole different story now for game number 5 of our grand finals.
Yeah, you remember all those tactics we were just talking?
Now they're all gone.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
None of them.
Hey, I know you're going to do something, but check out this cool thing I can do that completely makes it irrelevant.
Boxing gloves, boots, tornadoes, and spikes. This is how you win $4,000, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Imagine telling that to your parents, be like, so what happened? Well, I used a boxing glove, and then my friend tornadoed me, and we won $4,000. And you just have to be like, wait, what?
It sounds like you're trying to put together your own version of like a top 5 play, because that would actually make it.
Yeah, that'd been sick.
Metznaris is going to try and go the entire way with that plunger. Magnus has actually got himself a magnet. Can he take it the entire way in? No. Unable to get that ball close enough to him for it to follow him into the goal. And that's going to be a great shot there. Huge amounts of power coming out. Ends up flying all over the place. And then that is going to be a goal going in. I don't think, though, that was Mystic that turned it.
No, Mystic and Fairy Peak pinched that. We talked about how strong pitches can be with pinball. That thing was a boomer, but then immediately shooting up into the wall, and then a beautiful hit by Mystic after. Just one after another, using those power-ups well.
That was an own goal.
It was?
That was an own goal. I don't know why you would score an own goal, but that was an own goal. Don't do that.
Was it the...
That was the boxing glove was an own goal.
I thought it came out of Mystic.
No, that was an orange player. That's the reason why the camera didn't follow him at all.
Well, I mean, that ball was moving pretty fast.
I mean, it looked very intentional at that point, but yeah, it was indeed an own goal.
I mean, we've learned everything in Rocket League is calculated.
Apparently. So going 1-0 down. That is
it's all part of their plan. You just wait.
All right, Resonant, you're about to show me some next level tactics, apparently. That's going to be a freeze right onto the goal line. Cleared away by Metznaris, and then follows that one straight up with a grappling hook. That's going to be put straight off the back. Boot onto one player, but a lot was the player that actually got towards the ball. 1-0, and we are going to reach 90 seconds into this matchup. Those freezes playing havoc on everyone. Fairy Peak turns that one back down, and that extra touch of his ends up playing dividends, but K-Dop, all the time in the world, can rotate and take the shot.
That was insane for him to be like, oh yeah, I totally missed the frozen ball. And then pull it with a plunger. Obviously didn't go in, and that would have been sick if it did. But it sets up his entire team for the easy cherry pick goal. Every time I see like the ball frozen in front of the net, I just feel like someone using their trap card. You know, it's like that last-ditch effort. We're about to die.
No damage.
Lol JK, we're fine.
But it doesn't end up working just there. That's Fairy Peak. Got a touch he didn't quite want. Ended up putting that one a bit high, but the follow-up was always there. And it's good to see good rotations coming out. Oh, a lot. Tried to use the plunger. Ends up getting just demolished away from him. And this is going to be very awkward. Metznaris having another argument with that post. Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen multiple arguments with posts this weekend. No one has won.
That is the craziest air dribble setup I've ever seen. A tornado up into an air dribble and then demoing someone.
Mystic trying to use the plunger. That's going to go the whole way, and that's going to be fast. Mock it. This is supposed to be tense, ladies and gentlemen. This is supposed to be the grand finals. This is supposed to be where we see overtimes and great plays, and Mock it are just destroying it.
Mystic really comfortable with the way that plunger worked as well. As soon as that ball's starting to hit that like peak of like where the, I guess the pulling area is, he jumps with it to pull it even a little bit harder and slams it towards the net. These guys look well versed in Rumble.
Well, 2 of those goals from Mock it coming almost directly or indirectly from use of the plunger. We see more plungers coming out here. That's going to be another one. Magnus can't get use of that. Halfway through this game mode. And Mock it eSports looking comfortable right about now. Fairy's going to try and put that one down. There is number 4. Mock it eSports, ladies and gentlemen, taking everyone to school.
Yeah, the only one who had a power-up worth possibly using was Mets, but he wasn't able to get there in time. as they're able to sink in a Normie gold despite power-ups being out. We're just over halfway through this match. We're on game point, match point.
And for you right now, do Resonant need a goal right now, or can they leave it until like a minute 30?
No, they need goals badly. We've seen what Mocket's able to do with these power-ups.
Ladies and gentlemen, we heard it there. I told you earlier on, that is a juggernaut of an item, and Mystic
my goodness
is going to put that in for his 5th. You cannot boot away that grappling hook. It will not stop.
No, he's got an aimbot. He's going to get the hit whether you want it or not. But then he uses another aimbot of his own mechanics to follow that double touch in. Mystic is going insane.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Mystic, the human aimbot. Actually, that's not a bad nickname to have.
That's actually really cool.
You're welcome. Lola, just well done on that one. You can ask for some money on that from him later on. He's going to have plenty.
Trademarked.
As Magnus tries to give his team at least a consolation as they find themselves 5 goals down. Fairy Peak going to play havoc with that tornado. But K-Dop's got himself some spikes. Just takes it the entire end of the field.
K-Dop looks so happy. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get another touch. And then just boot.
Taken out of the play entirely. A minute and 20 seconds remaining here. Mystic
these
makes this
pass plays?
6. Mock it! What are you doing right now?
Unbelievable pass plays is what they're doing. Just K-Dop and Mystic working together. And the placement on these shots, bar down.
The only way that could have been any better was if K-Dop got the bump he was looking for.
Right.
He was trying to take out the defender as well on that. Mock it. This has been what we've wanted to see from them all season. Complete dominance, and they've brought it out during mid-season Mayhem. As Fairy Peak's going to try and take this one over the top. Can they get that 7th goal? That's going to be a switch coming through. Fairy Peak, that has to be his switch.
It was.
And it was almost perfect.
Right idea for those that did not notice it. Took the shot and then tried to swap out the last defender and then move out of the way, but he shadowed it pretty well. As a freestyle coming in, can they get it? He's going to get it, what?
Number 7, Fairy Peak is not phased by tornadoes. Gonna get that one in. And we have waited so long for this. Tornadoes versus grappling hook. Nope, grappling hook, still the winner.
That's the difference between pros and us. Fairy Peak freestyles it without the grappling hook, waits for the hit in the 50-50, and then grapples it back into the net. Insane, man.
Absolutely insane indeed. The most amount of goals we have seen in a match all weekend long. And honestly, after a performance like this, you cannot argue against it. Fairy Peak's going to go and pick up that boost on the side there. And honestly, we are just there's only one thing that can make this any more perfect, and that is a goal onto the orange
Mystic,
side.
you're going the wrong way. What are you doing?
I don't think anyone wants it here. I don't think either of these teams really care for it. Mockit are one of those teams that are just like, yeah, that's funny, but we want more goals. We want to look as convincing as we possibly can. As Magnus is going to be disrupted on this. Tries to go for a dribble despite being unable to turn off boost. That was certainly a valiant attempt there, but Mockit eSports, the team is much different than it was last season, but the winners are still the same. Mockit eSports are your European Mid-Season Mayhem Grand Champions.
Fantastic replay coming up from Mockit eSports as they looked insane in that last game. 7-0. Mystic with 100% shooting accuracy and 4 goals. What the heck? Where was that all day?
Right there, they saved it up. I don't know what to say about that. It was an incredibly close series. We got into this game mode and almost immediately Mockit just switched it on. And from then on out, it was all them.
Well, they smelled that money. $4 grand going in favor of Mockit, 2,500 to Resonant. Fantastic play for both teams.
Well, you're certainly not going to be too upset at that one. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute blast this entire